Hey there, Taurus. Still here shuffling your cards. I'm using the traditional rider-waite deck again. The cards have been speaking to me again. I've also changed the view that you guys have as well, I'm sure you've noticed. So I can get some better light from this window. Initially, I didn't want to have the camera facing this way just because I didn't really like this view behind me, but I think it's all right. And you guys get to see my favorite little friend over here. I have Venus and Taurus, and I love to collect Victorian portraits. Well, I should say turn of the century portraits, like 19th, 20th century. Anyway, Taurus. Taurus. What have you been up to, huh? Alright. So our first card today is the King of Pentacles. Interesting. Taurus, this is like self-empowered earth energy. This is you feeling pretty empowered and capable and in tune with yourself. Being able to appreciate your material comforts in a way. Like a figure being surrounded by like your favorite colors, your favorite fabrics, your favorite music, favorite movies, maybe your favorite time of year. I mean, we're moving into fall as I'm recording this, so not too long away from the autumnal equinox for those of us in the northern hemisphere. So like maybe just like reaching for the outer manifestations of things, as Taurus will do, that comfort you at this time and that bring you a sense of nostalgia, maybe even. But like so far, like I'm feeling pretty good about this. Like this feels like some nice energy that we're working with here. All right. Next card we've got is the Fool in reverse, which is like the first interesting. Okay, so what I'm kind of getting is like this is the first problem or the first contradiction to that energy. I feel like outwardly you have all these nice, beautiful, pretty things going on, but I think inwardly there's a little bit of a, not a stuckness, a little bit of a sense of even distraction, like maybe an inward movement that isn't going parallel with the static King of Pentacles energy. Like, I don't want to say too much just yet because I don't have a lot of cards on the table, but this is like the Fool in reverse to me in this context is like maybe feeling resistant to changes, maybe feeling resistant to something, to letting go, which I feel like is a almost stereotypical association with Taurus, is like this fixed, stubborn nature, not wanting to yield to change. But the kind of way that I was seeing the King of Pentacles is like being this figure kind of bringing ornamentation to their outer reality as a way to comfort themselves. I think maybe in the midst of these changes, in the midst of this Fool energy, because whatever this Fool is it's kind of uncomfortable for this King of Pentacles. Like he's like pretending not to be looking at it. Instead, he's going to look at this pretty pentacle that he's holding on to. Like, I'm going to pay attention to this nice little pumpkin right here. we're not going to go there. It's kind of like flamboyant type of energy. But then you have this King of Swords. Could be an air sign. As being kind of like the figure that's saying to this King of Pentacles, like, just because everything looks pretty doesn't mean that it is pretty. Like, there's work that needs to be done. There's something that you're not seeing quite clearly. Or at least that's what this person is saying. It's kind of coming in and antagonizing this King of Pentacles in a way. Maybe somebody who's questioning your nesting behavior. Because for whatever reason, I was seeing that King of Pentacles as like a nesting type of energy, like literally somebody laying out blankets and hot cocoa and getting all cushy and ready for a good movie with popcorn or something. And then this King of Swords comes along and is like, what are you even doing? Like, why are you wasting your time on this? There's work that needs to be done, or at worst, it's like this person is like, why do you even like these things? Like, this is dumb. And it's like, maybe this fool between them is like representing the change that's happening inside of this King of Pentacles, inside of you. Maybe like the King of Pentacles doesn't want to show that the words that the King of Swords has flung at them have kind of penetrated beneath the surface, have had an effect. But I feel like it struck a chord. And it's like now the King of Pentacles feels almost ashamed or guilty of their enjoyment of things. Even though they're trying to maintain decorum and act like, well, whatever, you can say what you want, but everything's fine. I'm here and I've got a nice little movie and I've got my cup of tea or cocoa. But it's like beneath that, there's like I'm seeing somebody crying, like on the inside, like somebody in a little dark cave somewhere in the chest, just like sobbing, like that really hurt. Like, why would you say something like that to me? You have the Sun card in reverse right next to this King of Swords. Interesting. I wouldn't typically read it this way, but it was like, I heard narcissist. Like this King of Swords figure is putting you down, putting this King of Pentacles down because they don't feel strong in themselves. Like they don't feel capable of being fully appreciated for who they are because of whatever experiences they've had or whatever beliefs that they have. And because they don't feel good about themselves, they're using their ability to speak, their ability to fling comments. Like I'm leaning more towards like air type, obviously because the King of Swords, air type expressions where it's like communication or thoughts, ideas, beliefs. That sort of energy is like being used by this King of Swords. And this King of Swords knows how to use words for sure, like knows how to make somebody feel a certain way, knows how to so starkly and maybe even accurately assess a situation or a person and then like twist it in a way that they can use as a weapon. Like they're very able to perceive the harsh reality of a situation without embellishment, sometimes even without like color, without appreciating it. And it's because of this pale sun that they have inside of themselves. Like I'm seeing, for whatever reason, this sun in reverse next to them as like a pale sun, like a sun that's covered up with like smoke or haze in some way, and so it's not really powerful, which could be indicative of somebody like a Libra, like specifically a Libra, because the sun is in its fall in the sign of Libra. We're approaching that time of the year, but it could represent somebody who has their sun in Libra or has Libra energy, Libra placements maybe. And so this solar energy isn't fully able to express itself within them, and so they feel like they have to compensate in other ways, or like they have to hurt other people to make themselves feel better. Next up, we have the Four of Cups. And that is the last decan of Cancer. Sorry, it kind of bugs me when I don't at least get a second of focus. There we go. I'm trying to, because the storyline seems to want to like focus on this King of Swords, and I'm trying to pull it back to this King of Pentacles. Like, this King of Swords energy is like, I don't want to say it's unnecessary, but it's not something that you need to allow to overtake your awareness or your focus. And maybe that's part of the message with this Four of Cups right here is like, the universe, your reality is expressing itself in a way that can be easily appreciated by you, in a way that's beautiful, in a way that's soft and cozy and warm and lovely. But I feel like because of this King of Swords energy, you're not able to appreciate it anymore. Like it's ruined. Like now you're just in a bad mood. Now you're kind of sitting there with your cup of cocoa and the movie's playing, but you're like not even watching it anymore. Like that's the Four of Cups energy. Like it's just like, yeah, this is the finest of silk that I'm wearing, or this is like hot cocoa imported from Mexico that was made with ceremonial cacao and, you know, Mayan honeybee honey, and like it's the best of the best, you know, as Taurus loves the most, but it doesn't matter anymore. Like it's just, it's ruined. All because of this King of Swords. But I think part of the message with that is like, don't give them that power over you. And maybe that's what we're getting to. Like, don't allow this situation to dominate you. If it's a narcissist that you're working with, like, whatever they say and whatever they do has everything to do with who they are and with whatever their experience is. And it's not, I don't want to call it, I wanted to say BS. I'm not going to call their experience that. Like, you shouldn't demean or discount it. But don't take it upon yourself to make them feel better. That's their responsibility. You should be able to enjoy your own space and enjoy your own life because that's your responsibility and that's your prerogative. If they want to attack you for that, if they want to demean you for that, that's on them. And they can kindly, you know, there's the door. Like, go feel that by yourself. I don't need that. Come back when you have something constructive to say. Or when you're ready to sit down on this couch with me and enjoy this movie and this hot cocoa and this fine silk, you know? And it's hard not to take that personally. Of course, like, I mean, any of us who have had experiences with people, these narcissistic figures, like, we know how terrible we can feel. And it's really hard to get out of that space sometimes, but once you figure it out, once you figure out how to pull the knife out of your back, you're stronger for it, and the words that are flung at you in the future just kind of slide off. Like, there's no sweat off your back. So maybe that's part of this, the story in a way. It's like going through this experience so that you can better learn how to stay seated in your throne and not be pushed off by somebody who has something cruel to say to you. We have the Queen of Wands coming up. And she wants to hang out with this King of Pentacles right here. Like, very specifically, it was like she needs to be next to him. And, you know, earth and fire, like, I'm not saying that this is romantic, but I'm definitely getting, like, some nice fluid energy, like it's turning the earth into magma, and it's like this interaction of fire and earth, and it's just like it's hot and it's creative, and it's, you know, it's bursting out of the ground, and it's laying out new, fresh, fertile land that's gonna, you know, eventually become this incredible forest. Like, it's the best soil that's made from this interaction. It's like whoever this figure is, it doesn't have to be romantic. Obviously, I'm just kind of like interpreting the chemistry that's there. There's like some sort of connection between this King of Pentacles and this Queen of Wands. I feel like once she comes into the picture, this King of Swords doesn't even matter anymore. Like, I feel like the King of Pentacles isn't one to necessarily stick up for themselves and say, hey, you know, you've hurt me, or you don't need to be saying those things. It's like this Queen of Wands comes in. It's kind of like that fire sign charging forth, like, you know what, you said something screwed up, and I'm not gonna sit here and take it like this King of Pentacles will. I'm gonna fight you. I'm gonna whack you over the head with my wand. Like, this isn't cool. You don't do that. You don't speak to people like this. And now with this partnership, this alliance between the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands, like there's a sense of being able to move forward again, being able to get past this King of Swords energy. And I feel like as I'm looking and as the story is unfolding, it's like that energy is kind of fading. Like, it doesn't really matter anymore. You have the moon in reverse, which is like the waning moon. This is like the disseminating moon. That energy of a situation dissipating and going away, going back beneath the ocean, beneath the surface, back into the depths where it belongs. Like the sea monster, the King of Swords sea monster, going back where he came from. But it's like this Queen of Wands is just like still there, and is like holding space for the tide to go back out. I was like, yeah, that's where you go. That's where you belong. I feel like she's helping that upwelling of painful emotion, that high tide of emotion that was kind of initiated by this King of Swords figure. You know, remember that figure crying in the cave in the chest? She's keeping that at bay. And I'm almost watching like a lake drying up in my mind, like, and she's like standing there at the shoreline, like directing the whole process with her mind, like making sure that every last drop of that water is evaporated and gone. Because it was polluted water. It was poison. You know, water is necessary for life, but not that water. That water kills. That water is deadly. Interesting. Like, I was getting like a very vivid impression of like a friend coming into the house of this King of Pentacles, who's just gotten out of a relationship with this King of Swords, probably because of this Queen of Wands person who was like, hey, this person is not a good person, we need to get rid of them. And they're like throwing out all the old furniture and clothes that belong to this King of Swords out into the yard, and they're burning it. Like, don't take that literally. Like, I'm not telling you to go out and do this if this is you in that situation, but there's as a concept, as an archetype for the energy that's being presented, it's like that getting rid of the old trash. We have the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and this card is wanting to go right under the King of Swords right here. And it's only natural in periods of time where situations in our life are dissolving or changing, that we start to feel a greater sense of appreciation for what we had, even if it was something terrible. Like, you know, the Stockholm Syndrome is real. Like, we can be in the worst of situations, but coming out of it, sometimes there can be a sense of appreciation for the time spent under all that pressure, under all that disappointment, which is weird to think about. And as I'm looking at it and saying that, like, I'm hearing this Queen of Wands right here, like, don't even go there. Like, quit it. Like, don't waste that appreciation. Don't waste that reflection on this person. Like, they're not worth it. They have they have a lot of work to do, and it's not your job to do it for them. Stop wasting your time ruminating, is kind of what she's saying. Like, don't look back. This isn't the type of thing to look back on, or at least not right now. Like, you're not ready for it. You're not strong enough. That's not quite what I'm trying to get across. Like, you are strong enough, but it's like, this isn't the time for it. Like, if you look back now, the tide is just going to pull you back out with it. But if you keep moving forward, you may eventually reach a space where you're able to look back and not have the tide pull you with it. Like, you'll just be able to watch it coming and going as it will, and you'll be unaffected. But that time is not now. Like, this is the time to keep the momentum going out, away. Stay with this Queen of Wands. I like this person, this friend, or this partner. Like, this is good energy. This is good vibes. This is good people. I'm getting like emotional looking at it, like thinking about it. All right, so we have the Tower card coming up right under the sun. This is that intrusive Mars energy. Interesting. Like, I heard they'll get what's coming. Like, maybe this person, this King of Swords, has said or done things that aren't good. Like, I wanted to say terrible, but I also felt like saying that would be melodramatic. Like, I don't feel like they're necessarily a bad person, just that they've been cruel. And it's like the Tower is like their cruelty catching up with them, because it's like posited under this Sun card, and the Sun was like obviously calling back to that pale sun energy, that King of Swords, pale sun. I heard Miasma. Miasma Skies. Good album, by the way, by Baths. Maybe something to look into for some of you with similar music taste, but yeah, something will disrupt that momentum that they've got going, and I think it's probably you ushering in this period of change, like you walking away from this relationship, whatever this is, whether romantic or professional or something else. Like, that's their wake-up call. That's their Tower moment. Like, now they know that they can't get away with doing things the way that they've been doing. Like, they may have had other victims in the past that just kind of rolled over and let them take advantage of them, but you aren't that person. You're not letting them take advantage of you, and it's because of the support of this Queen of Wands person. Like, I keep wanting to call back to her. Like, without this figure here, the King of Pentacles would have been just another one of their victims. But now you're a catalyst for them, a wake-up call. And maybe it'll result in some change in their life, but again, like, the big message here is like, it's not your problem anymore. It's not your responsibility what they do with their lives moving forward. Like, if you've severed the tie, if you've severed the connection, then be done. Keep walking, keep going. Don't look back, don't ruminate. Remember what we were saying? Like, don't get stuck in that. Don't get pulled back. It's not your problem. It's not your responsibility. They're a grown adult who can make their own decisions, who needs to take responsibility for their own actions and their own words. And if they do have some sort of mentally, like, differently abled or psychological bent, narcissist, whatever, like, they can't use that as an excuse for their behavior. They're still a conscious being, and though it may be more difficult for them to make better decisions that don't involve cruelty, they're still able to make those decisions. It just takes more effort on their part. So their disability, like, I'm saying it like that, like, kind of sarcastically, because it's the Queen of Wands, her perspective, like, this person's full of shit. Like, screw you, King of Swords. And it's like, if this King of Swords tries to use that as an excuse and try to make you feel like they're gonna change, or they're gonna do better, I'm calling back to the movie Chocolat. I don't know if any of you guys have seen that, but there's an abused housewife, and she finally gets out of her marriage, and he I forget the whole discourse, but part of the thing was they had an altercation with, like, a pot and a pan or, like, something. She was hit by him, and she basically told him to take it out on someone else's head. A whole long roundabout way of saying, like, it's great, you can change, but you're not going to change with me. Like, I'm done. Like, don't leave that door open for them. You slam it in their face. Once the business is taken care of, all the loose ends are tied up, out, gone. Like, move away from this energy. Or literally, I don't know. We have the Strength card next. Come on, there we go. Strength. Right next to that tower. I'm like literally on the edge of tears, like, so happy. Like, you did it. Like, you've made it out of this you're done. You had the tower moment, you broke it off, it's over. And, like, you did that. This is what the strength is. It's like, you did that. You took responsibility for your happiness, and you made it. You pushed through all the obstacles. You cut out all the cruelty. You crueled out all the unsupportive factors. And now you're in a better place because of it, because of you taking responsibility for your life, taking responsibility for your enjoyment. It's not wrong to be cozy and to enjoy things, despite whatever this King of Swords ever said to you. Like, life is beautiful. Life is something to be appreciated. And life is something to wrap around yourself and be cozy with. Like, this Queen of Wands here is like, yeah, I'll do that with you if you want. Like, let's cozy up and watch a movie. Let's sink into that. But, like, this is the person. This is you coming out the other end and feeling so much better about yourself, feeling empowered, feeling capable, feeling beautiful, feeling wonderful and unique and appreciated. And appreciating yourself, like, knowing, like, yeah, you did that. I keep wanting to press that, like, you did this. You got out of this situation because you're strong. You weren't going to take things lying down. And you did it. And you have this Ace of Swords right here. And this is like a new outlook, a new paradigm, a new way of thinking. And it's like completely opposite where the King of Swords is on this spread here, separated by this Two of Coins. And it's like you could have listened to those voices, to those King of Swords spoutings, and taken them personally and let them sink in, and you identify with them and believe them. But because of this process of breaking out of that, putting your foot down with the support of this Queen of Wands right here, gotta shout her out. Now you're able to move into a new way of thinking, new ideas about yourself that don't involve any of that. This is also the Libra equinox point, and we're moving towards that in just a couple days, really. Like I think just over a week from when I'm recording this video. It's like I think this quarter of the year is going to feel so much better than this, whatever happened maybe during Leo season. It could be another, like for timing purposes, the Sun card, Leo, or strength too. Like, it doesn't matter. That's old news, and this is new. This is where you are now, strong, empowered, capable, appreciated, loved, and able to appreciate and love, and surrounded by pretty things, pretty people, good food, lovely music, incredible movies, the softest, most lovely blankets, candles, hot cocoa. And to wrap everything up, we have that Three of Swords. That's that middle decan of Libra. And I think this is you, after you've walked away, you've followed the momentum, you've gotten out of this situation, this is you finally turning back and being able to look at everything that happened. And again, not being pulled out with the tide because you're far enough away. You're not getting wet, like it doesn't matter, but you're able to look back and see objectively what happened. Whereas before, maybe you were so caught up in it, you felt meek and weak and lost. But it's like, this is the past. It's interesting. I see like you standing, looking at the shore, holding, this is going to sound really weird, so take it as you will, holding a voodoo doll of yourself. But it's like the old self. And like putting the pin in the heart and then dropping it. Like leaving it, it's dead, it's done. That's no longer part of your life anymore. That's no longer who you are. And you know, now that you're in this space, it's not wrong to look back and to see how far that you've come. But don't let it stop you. Keep moving and keep this Queen of Wands around. Like, honestly, buy her dinner or something. Like, I just feel like, even just looking at these cards, like I just feel so loved and supported and encouraged by this Queen of Wands. Like, that's a good person you've got right there. Keep them around. And it's starting to rain again. And with that, I will leave that as the cue to end this reading for now. So, wishing you all the best, Taurus. You've done a great job. You're a great person, and you've got great people. So, appreciate things. Be thankful. Appreciate yourself. Okay, and I'll keep going and going. I'm feeling sappy. Sorry. See you around, Taurus.